Hey everyone, we're here on Michael Jackson's birthday and decided to do this last minute. So you can tell I'm pretty tired, but at the same time, pretty inspired to do this. Wanted to kind of just talk to you guys, wanted to kind of field some questions, but also talk about, kind of what I've been going through in a way. This has been a pretty interesting journey this year, and also it's been had its ups and downs, obviously, for all of you guys, of course. And I want to kind of talk about BTS as well in terms of what they did as a group and their army did in terms of I don't want to say renewing my faith, but giving me kind of a shot of adrenaline at a time when I needed it most. And for that, I will always be grateful for, in a way. And some of you were asking, why I was promoting them so much. It's because I always promote things that I enjoy and love, but also things that bring positivity to the world. And the more I got to study them, the more I understood what they stood for and what they were created for, in a way. And I couldn't help but fall in love with them in that way. And so we're going to talk about Michael, of course. We're going to talk about some memories, but we're also going to talk about your questions as well, because I'm still raising a daughter, and she's on a weird schedule right now of sleep. And so my wife's taking a nap. She was up all night. I was half up all night, but it's been pretty fun in that way. Now, I do know that there's Spike Lee's doing his block party, so I don't want to interrupt that at all. So, you guys can watch this later, but I did want some questions. So if you guys can give me some questions, that'd be great. And I prefer for you guys to stay. I'm not saying leave, but I understand if you jump in and out at the same time. But what I really decided to do, just why I wanted to be here, was because of my uncle and how incredible he was. And originally I wasn't going to do this. I was going to, because I heard Spike Lee was doing something. I was like, oh, good, I don't have to do anything this year. But I really feel it's important for me and important for family to show not only the fans, but the world, that we support this man and his greatness. And I was so happy to see all my, family members tweeting and how much they missed him and all that stuff, because you don't know internally what we go through as a family in terms of losing him. And so you just assume, because I'm not saying you guys, but I'm just saying the world just assumes, oh, so-and-so is not speaking about this or that, so they don't care. And that's not the truth at all. It's just everything we say, our words get dissected, they get twisted. And so I have like a filter in my head that I have to, kind of turn on sometimes, just to make sure that I'm not saying the wrong thing at the I was gonna say the wrong thing. Yeah, the wrong thing at the wrong time, I would say. This is. But I'm so happy to be here, because if there's anyone worth celebrating, it's Michael Jackson, and that is why I'm here. That's why I've always been here. That's why I proudly wear this hat. Not only Michael was amazing. I'm seeing a lot of tweets I'm in Twitter world. I'm seeing a lot of comments on YouTube and stuff, and it's like, he was beyond amazing. He was. I mean, what you guys saw just in general, even behind the scenes footage, it's like, it was, in comparison to actually physically being next to him, standing in his presence, and the aura and the glow and the warmth that his light shed on you, it really was something that is hard to describe. That's why people that knew him and that were close to him can only describe it. You guys can feel it in his music and his messages, but there's something about actually being there that it was just different. And some of you guys were lucky enough to get hugs from him and stuff like that, so you do know what I'm talking about. So we're kind of filling up nicely. Yeah, he was definitely too pure for the world. I think it's interesting because people ask me what I think he would be doing right now. Obviously, he'd be doing something to like heal the world, you know, and making an anthem. But he was just too sensitive for this world. And this point, we've gone down such a rabbit hole of negativity. And I think that's what's so scary about everything is that this, you know, someone said, guys, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good either. You know, we just lost Chadwick Boseman as well, you know, who from everything that I've seen in an incredible man, person, human being, you know, would go and visit, you know, hospitals. Reminded me a lot of my uncle in terms of just his heart. You know, people loved him, people appreciated him, but he was just a warrior. He did things non-selfishly in terms of you didn't know the internal struggles of what he was going through because he didn't portray it to the world. And then the world took him for granted at the same time. I mean, of course, we honored him and we showed him love, but at the same time, you know, we didn't really know what he was going through, and he hid that in a way to make us to benefit us. And I think that's just amazing, a character that he was in terms of, I'm not talking about movie role, I'm talking about actual character, you know, as a human being. And that was a hard one because I was just on Twitter scrolling and I came across it, and it literally, I went to the trending topics and I didn't want to believe it, but it was such a painful thing for me as well. Okay, let's get some questions in. Yes, I did see I just saw, that's why sorry, that's why I was a little late because I didn't know how long it was going to be, but I did get to see the 2020 version of They Don't Care About Us, the short film, because it's not a music video, it's a short film that Spike Lee's joint created. I thought it was amazing. I mean, it is, if there's an anthem that needs to be played right now, it is that one. I mean, it's just, there's so much going on in the world and our priorities are all messed up, really all messed up. Empathy has taken a back seat in terms of we're numb to a lot of things. We can see someone getting shot in the back or shot, you know, or killed right in front of us. And it's like we're numb to it. And that's a scary thought. Sorry for the creaking table as well. It's just, it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to, I have I'm not doing it now, but I do have the Dynamite video queued up. I'm going to try and do a little kind of, not a reaction because I've seen it already thousands of times, but kind of talk about it. And because I'm stuck, and you guys will correct me, the ones that are in the BTS army, in terms of my pronunciation of the guys and stuff like that. But it's been such an escape for me in a way. And I know a lot of other MJ fans, you know, that have started listening to BTS and, you know, love their music now and love them. I get comments all the times from them, from whether it's direct messages or things on my phone as well in that way. And so, and I love the fact that there's a tie-in between Michael Jackson and BTS. There always had been, you know, but now there's a direct tie-in in that way. I know Jungkook and oh my gosh, Jimin did the black or white video, Dance to the Black or White video, and that was, you know, incredible. But there's something about having this music video that broke records. Not only broke records, it shattered records, and it was an undeniable tribute in that way, and it was an unapologetic tribute, and it was so needed for me because there's just so much darkness in the world right now. and they put out a song that literally lifted up my spirits, not only for, being Michael Jackson's nephew, but just being someone that cares about this world and cares about people. And the song was just such a happy, positive song, and the way they not only performed it, but the outtakes and or just having fun with everything. It was so amazing to me. But let's see what. Is Neverland still for sale? Can you make it easy? It's not up to us. Trust me. If I had any control of it, I would. I would want to make it like a charity, something for charity. That sick kids, just what my uncle planned for sick kids or inner city kids, people to escape and go there and enjoy, and and for adults to forget that they're adults and and be kids again in that way. But yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if I had the money, but I don't. That would be what I would do. And that way, I think that was the whole intention. You learned about BTS from King Bach. Shout out to King Bach. Yeah, that's great. Let's see. Yeah, well, I mean, what do you guys think in terms of with my uncle, with his character and this? Do you think like he would have been able to survive in this world in terms of? I mean, this is a world of like just darkness and everyone wants to cancel everyone for without. Oh yeah, so BTS is a K-pop group. They're the I hate the word arguably. To me they're the biggest group right now, the biggest act going. They shatter records. They've probably the biggest fan club, or the most loyal fan club, I should say. I mean, we have an impressive fan club as well, very loyal, and we're tired though. We've been fighting for 20 something years, for the truth and stuff like that. And they're younger and energized. And when I say younger, I know their demographics span everywhere because I've seen it on YouTube, and I've seen people talk about it. Their demographics span just like Michael's did, from grandmas to toddlers. My daughter, for example, my less than 2-year-old daughter is jamming to them. Marlon Brando and Michael, but really out there, and I really adore them all. You don't have to hear about it. What can you say about them? They, it's interesting because I think Marlon Brando and my uncle, when you hit a certain part of fame and a certain fame, you act differently, you think differently, and some people can handle it, some people can't. And I think there's a kinship there between Marlon Brando and my uncle because, when you are considered the biggest at something, there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, and then there's people that talk about you and lie about you and twist your words. And so I know my uncle had a huge respect for Marlon Brando. We watched plenty of Brando films. He would talk about Marlon Brando all the time. He loved Marlon Brando. So I know that there was that friendship, just like with Elizabeth Taylor in that way. And then later on with Chris Tucker and stuff like that, just the people that he let in and truly let in, you can see it with them. Okay, let's see. Where am I at? Yes, so I apologize in advance. This was kind of off the whim, off the cuff, I think. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I really wanted to kind of connect with you guys because it is something that is it's been really tough, and with pandemic happening right now has been extremely tough because now we can't even connect as human beings, physically connect. Will Square One be on Netflix? That's not up to me. That's up to Danny, and that's not even up to him. That's up to Netflix. I think it deserves to be on Netflix. I don't see why it wouldn't be. It's an incredible documentary, and everyone that watches it loves it. It's a real eye opener for people. I became a fan of BTS in 2014. They've always showed yes, they have. And I saw another question or comment about them meeting Janet, and I did see that footage as well. That was great as well. Can fans visit? No, I don't think so. It's off limits. It's off limits for everyone right now. So I can't even visit Havenhurst right now. So but speaking of Havenhurst, my uncle's always been someone that appreciated, groups, and whether it was like, I remember meeting New Edition at Havenhurst for one of the first times, meeting Musical Youth, which a lot of people won't even know who they are, but they were a group from, let's just say, the UK. I don't know. I think they're from the UK. They're from England, I think. Well, they were definitely from England. I don't know if it was what part of England, if they were. The only reason I'm questioning it because they were definitely from England, yes. And they had visited Havenhurst, and we were there at the day that they visited, and that was a cool, fun day as well. And I've met other people at Havenhurst and then later at Neverland. But he always, if he admired you, he would want to meet you, and so I know definitely he would have not only met BTS, but probably collaborated with them. I always say light attracts light, and and for what they're doing and their whole message and of trying to help people and trying to help people escape, but also bring positivity, that is easily something my uncle would have been on board with. Thank you. I'm an Army, and now I'm a Moonwalker too. Watch it. Thank you very much. There's a lot of us that are new Army members in that way, so it's reciprocated. I will admit it's been pretty hard. I've watched a couple of videos on kind of introductions and stuff like that, but it's been pretty hard because they switched their hair color and they switched their look so much that I literally have been using Dynamite as the template to at least get the faces kind of nailed down before, because obviously their career has spanned, professionally since 2013. So there's been a different, they've grown as well, even though they still look so young. So yeah, that's just amazing to me. And someone that asked, how's my grandma doing? She's doing great. Thank you for asking. I mean, as great as she can be in this pandemic, but she's doing great. So I'm happy about that. Been in the Army. I've seen a lot of, yes, for 2 years, and Moonwalker for more than 30. I've seen a lot of crossover. That's the one thing, being a new Army member for a BTS. I've seen a lot of crossover between Michael Jackson fans and BTS. I think there's something about their positivity, their talent, and that their music. Think about this: their music has transcended language, just like Michael Jackson's did all throughout the world. Their music has done the same thing. That's such a hard feat to do in that way, and it is amazing. And just being in a group, and we just celebrated our 25th anniversary of Anything, our first single. That's, you understand how much work goes behind the scenes of just any kind of performance, any kind of music video. And, the work ethic is amazing in that way. Okay, let's see here. we'll go through the video soon because I don't want to make this too long, but I did, and I'm so thankful for everyone that's doing charitable stuff, in honor of my uncle. That's exactly what he would have loved. He would have loved to see people um, do things in honor of him, in terms of, because that's his message. His message was helping people. And so I think that's such an important thing. Do I remember any birthday celebration of Michael when he was alive? He didn't really celebrate his birthdays at all. And so, it's just, yeah. So there's not really memories of that in that way, which, is sad. And I regret that, but there's no memories of birthdays with him at all in terms of whether it's my birthday or his birthday. And that's because we kind of grew up Jehovah's Witness where you don't celebrate birthdays. Have I had this tag thing here this whole time, this little lint? Well, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's probably so annoying, but I can't get it now. Let's see. As for Film Family, we will definitely keep doing that. We're kind of movies are starting to go into the theater again, so I think that's a good sign. It's got to be safe for us, though. Me and BG are complete germaphobes, so I don't know who's going to cave first into going into the theaters, but yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. I laugh because we both we have certain habits in terms of being a germaphobe. No, we're not Jehovah. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I appreciate a lot of the teaching in terms of, I'm still very spiritual. I appreciate a lot of the teaching of, morals and stuff like that, and I do go every year to when you guys call it Passover or whatever. I forgot what we call it. You guys will help me on that. The Lord's evening meal, I think, or something like that. When's my birthday? My birthday is August 4th, for those who asked. And I just celebrated it. The more about the making of Why. Why is for people that don't know, is one of the music videos that we did with our Uncle Michael. It's a song that he gave us. We never asked our uncle to sing on a song. We never asked our uncle for a song, but he gave us Why. His backgrounds were on the track already, and when it came time for it to be a single and release it, I was just so honored that he was there. It was like such a dream. But at the same time, I was in 3T mode. I was in this is going to be our biggest video and everything like that. And so I was super serious. Both my brothers were. Cheryl and TJ were as well. And I'll never forget, he just was so goofy throughout the whole video. And I wish I would have let myself be looser in that way, because I was in such artist mode, and he wanted to capture the true essence of what we were like together with him, which you can see in the video. And I wanted to capture this is Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer of all time. I want him to do Michael Jackson stuff, and dance and all that stuff. And he wanted, and all that. And it's just funny because it's just looking back, of course, he's always right. And the video turned out to be incredible in that way, because it showed the relationship. I did answer that one already. I think how BG's doing. But yeah, so that was the thing. I'm going to give my opinions on the music video, Diana, but the song itself, I love the song. I said that I heard in the teaser I already knew I liked the song, because I can hear 10 seconds of the song and know if I like it or not. That's one of the things I can do, and I'm pretty spot on when it comes to that. But yeah, now if you guys would be upset if you knew how many times I play that song. You know, not upset. You just, because I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. But I mean, we play that song to death. Was he a fan of Lord of the Rings? I don't know that. I'm gonna ask Prince next time I talk to him about that, because I know Prince was a big fan of Lord of the Rings. Prince, my cousin, and so yeah, I'll find that answer out, because I'm curious too. I know he talked to Peter Jackson, and so something tells me he was a fan if he talked to Peter Jackson and was talking to him, because usually he watches a movie and then he's like, who directed that, and he knows it. Then he studies everything about that person and then talks to him, and and they develop a friendship. Do you or your brothers have any projects for Brotherhood 25, or does it? I like the icon too, or your avatar. I'll get back to that spot too. That's one of my hobbies. That's one of my goals too, is to lose weight, because yes, we do plan on doing something again once this pandemic, loosens up. But a lot of it does depend on Sony, because they own the masters, they own a lot of, they own the videos, they own a lot of the stuff. So we can do anything without their permission, minus the the concerts. But we're not putting anything together as of yet for the Brotherhood 25. But our 25th anniversary of Brotherhood is this year if you're in the States, and then internationally it's like beginning of next year. Okay, let's see here. Oh, and by the way, I don't have a favorite for BTS, if that's your so if someone asked that question. I appreciate them all the same. I do. When I see the show the music video, I will show you what parts I like from each person, or each member in that way. So I don't have a bias, which is what I think you guys, what we're supposed to call it. I have no bias yet. And if I did have it, I wouldn't say it either, because I've been on the other side of that. It's not fun. What do I miss most about my uncle? It was just hanging out with him. We had so much fun together. We laughed all the time. I think that was it. It's what I miss most is just his laughter. I missed how happy he was, and it wasn't like, when I say happy, it wasn't like he was always happy. It was just when he was with us, he was happy, and we were happy when we were with him. And so it was one of those things that we brought joy to each other. My uncle was very spiritual in that way, and so and I'm doing nothing to celebrate his birthday except for what I'm doing now, which is being with you guys, which is what I want to do, because it okay, someone asked about the new project, the new thing that I'm doing. It's going extremely well. I'm going to go to that, but I'm going to talk about the project, because I don't want to lose that question. I don't know. It's just like every month is different. Every month, like more and more. Square One did an amazing thing in terms of it opened up a lot of people's eyes to the truth in that way. A lot of people have awoken from this, lie of, leaving Neverland, which is, relied on so many things. It was literally pre-planned, and its assault was pre-planned, and it relied on all those things firing at the same time, which they did, but it had no substance. At the end of the day, there's not one fact to it, not one truth to it at all. And they can't even, that's, if you want to shut someone up, to say, then give me one fact, give me one evidence that Michael Jackson was this, and they can't give it to you. They'll quote something from a tabloid, And then that's when you know that they haven't done their homework. And you call them and say, well, you haven't done your homework. That's from a tabloid. But I just find that amazing, because now what we're discovering is there are other cases where, there are all this evidence and facts that are coming out about others in that way. And it shows you it's not hard to find that evidence and facts. Sorry, I was going to burp, and that's why I held it in. But yeah, so that's what is frustrating about it. Now, why I'm so happy and excited is because more and more people are realizing that. More people are seeing the contrast between, because it was new to a lot of people, this idea of and I don't even want to say the word because, YouTube might strike it or whatever. So, but this idea of what Leaving Neverland was introducing is so disgusting. And my uncle thought it was so disgusting as well, and so insulting. But it was new to a lot of people. A lot of people didn't even know it, so they were naive. But now we're starting to hear more and more about it. They're starting to realize that wasn't Michael Jackson. He wasn't like that at all. If anything, it was the opposite, which is what everyone has said. And so it's just a matter of the media painting their picture versus the public and the truth coming out in that way. So as time progresses, as more and more interviews are happening, and I can get more and more people on board, which has become easier because of all this, I feel more and more confident in that way. And what was it? I was going to say, to be clear, I've said this a lot of times, but I guess, and everyone's new here in terms of something. The pandemic has halted it for now in terms of that. So I'm doing everything behind the scenes of what I could do. I'm studying other documentaries, which some of them are just so disgusting and take like days to get out of your mind. But I'm also discovering patterns in terms of that. And it's like you have to show what something is to show what someone isn't in that way, if that makes sense. And I'm talking in code only because I don't want this, video to be flagged or whatever. But it frustrates me more because if you truly knew my uncle, you would know that this is ridiculous. And not only ridiculous, it's the most insulting thing you could do to him. Because all he did was try to protect kids and cared about kids. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? Oh, I was supposed to talk about my first paycheck when you first started. The very first paycheck 3T got was for Didn't Mean to Hurt You, for the Free Willy soundtrack. We got paid $15,000 for the song to be in the Free Willy soundtrack. And that was the only money we saw, but we bought a jacuzzi and an outdoor jacuzzi with that money. And it was such an accomplishment for us. We thought more money was going to come afterwards. It didn't, but we had our jacuzzi, and then I'll never forget when my mom passed, we had to sell the house, and it was sold so quickly that we didn't even get to take that jacuzzi with us, which is something I would have probably wanted to do symbolically, just as of a measure. Yeah, someone said I really blame the Me Too movement. He wasn't. It's what it is that certain movements need a face to go after in that way, and instead of it being Harvey Weinstein, Michael Jackson's a way bigger global star, and so that's what they attach to. That's what the media attached to, because Michael Jackson sells papers and sells clicks and stuff like that. It didn't matter if it was true or not. It's just that's how they look at it, and that's how they see. All right, so I love my cap as well. Okay, let's see. I'm going to, and for you guys, some of you guys haven't even watched the Dynamite video. While I'm over here yabbing away, or please watch it. Go to YouTube, type in BTS Dynamite, and watch their music video. Watch the original first, and then watch the B side. But you should watch it before I start kind of breaking it down, because you're doing a disjustice to yourself if you don't. And I was really happy to because I was over there streaming and doing the playlist thing too, in terms of trying to get that views all the way to 100 million, all the way up to when it was like at 96 and then 98, and then it was like it was like a nail biter in that way. And I was so happy that at the end of the day, YouTube said it was a 101 something million views in the first 24 hours. What was it like working with Michael? We never considered it work. That was the thing. It was just fun. It was nothing we ever did with our uncle was ever considered work. It was just always fun. It was always it was always a joy, and we never took it serious. We just had so much fun with him in that way. What would my uncle say about the Leaving Neverland? I think honestly they would have never released it, because he would have been able to. First of all, I don't think Wade would have had the guts to release it, because he would have rode the gravy train of Michael Jackson. He would still be doing dance choreography for not for Michael Jackson, in the studios, riding that Michael Jackson trail like he always did. Jim, and then James, or Jimmy, without Wade being on TV, James wouldn't have come up with the idea of suing Michael Jackson's estate, because he needed money. So it goes hand in hand. And I say he needed money because everyone knows, if you do the research, that his James's family got sued. I think it was a couple days before James discovered, quote unquote, his discovery. It's very interesting. Talk a little about my uncle's handwritten notes. I'm not going to talk about them now, because I'm going to use some of them in the project, in the documentary. I have a lot of them. And I have a lot of personal ones. Obviously, I won't do personal ones that he would not want me to do in that way. And I have to make that judgment call, unfortunately, in my own mind, of what, given this current circumstances, what he would say, okay, I trust you, do this, or I still don't want that out there. And it's not anything like what you guys would, what the media would think in that way. It's just, personal stuff. Like, I wouldn't want people to know my exact weight right now. But how do Prince and Paris celebrate? I don't know. I really don't. I know it has to be hard for them. So I don't know what they're doing to celebrate right now. Taj and brothers remind me of someone. Continue for your fight in the player's name. I met Zurich. That was fun. The Zurich, yeah. I don't remember the airport, but I remember being in Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you. Oh, in South Africa. Wow. So probably the reason we remind you so much of my uncle is because we spent so much time with them. It's like having a bigger brother that you just spend. I spent tens of thousands of hours with them. So, it's like having a bigger brother. Well, you're naturally going to be similar in that way. And especially if it's stuff that you love. Like, I didn't want to grow up. There's no way I was going to grow up. I was angry that I was growing up, just like, because I saw the benefits of being youthful and the benefits of being childlike. And so I did. Someone asked what was the last conversation I had with my uncle, and I've said it before. So if you guys, you guys can tune out the ones that know this, but it was basically, where's that question? Um, it was it. Our family was having kind of a gathering, for we were celebrating my grandma and grandpa's anniversary, even though it was nowhere near that date. I don't know. I think it was an excuse to get everyone together before my uncle went on tour. And the last words I said to my uncle, because we were all saying goodbye to each other. And my only regret is during that whole, time, because it's one of those things that I knew, like, once we go on the road, we'd be there with him. So once This Is It happened, I'd go to certain cities and countries and we'd hang out with them. So I use that. I always there's certain other cousins that didn't get to spend as much time with them. So that was their time to spend time with them and stuff like that. So I didn't even talk to him until, obviously I said hi and all that stuff in the beginning, but I didn't talk to him for that whole dinner. And then as we were leaving, gave each other hugs, and I told him, that I was proud of him because of This Is It, the record that he broke. And I said, I'll see you in London, letting him know that I was going to be there for opening night. And he said, thank you. And he said, after this, we're doing film. And because that was something that my uncle and I always dreamed of doing, was being a film team together. We always edged each other on in terms of being directors. And so that's another reason why, this project for me is so important, is because it's like fulfilling his destiny, but at the same time, I'm defending something that I truly believe in, which is one of the things you're supposed to do in film anyways. Either write what you believe in or direct in what you believe in. So this is why it's such an easy thing for me to do, in terms of, because it's not even a question for me. What do I think about black sheeting in America? I think it's not only a travesty. I think it's one of those things that I was talking about earlier, in terms of, us being empathetic in general. We've become numb in that way. And, I think what's the worst is that there's people that don't even think racism exists. And as privileged as I am, and people can say, oh, shut up, you're privileged. Yes, I am privileged. My dad and my uncles, they worked their butt off to give us a better life. But that didn't stop cops from, pulling me over when I got, not my first car, my first quote unquote nice car. And I got that whole spiel of I was in Calabasas at the time, and they pulled me over basically saying that a car in this, matching this description was registered stolen, which is like their go-to line. And I didn't even think that, because you see in movies, you didn't think that actually was the line they're going to use, but that was the line they used on me. And so, and it was kind of, I was angry, but at the same time, I was so disappointed in a way. I've been accused of shoplifting when I was 12 years old, and I saw the kids that did that were doing it, and they stopped me, and I wouldn't even know those kids. I was called the N-word, before I was 12 years old, right in my face by kids that were flicking me off and calling me the word in my first experience at camp. We never went back to camp, but that, that's my very, very first and only fight that I had was from that camp, in terms of, I got sick of some kid calling me the N-word and literally jumped on him. And so, and I'm a non-violent person, but, at some point I just snapped, because it was just like the disrespect and the ignorance got to me. What other experiences have I had? I've been thrown in the back of a cop car because one of my friends was wearing a sheriff jacket that his uncle gave him from out of state. And they, the place that gave him a free drink, thinking that he was a cop, and he thought he got the free drink because they knew me so well, which, and it was under my name. And so he thought they were just giving him a free drink because of me, but there were cops in the thing, and so he got in trouble for impersonating the cop, which he didn't even know he was doing. And then I was in his car waiting for the drinks, and so they arrive, and then they put me in handcuffs in the back of the car with him. And technically, I learned later they weren't supposed to do that because I had nothing to do with this situation. But that was always, that was fun, and that was right in front of the place that I always go to in that way. And so there's just because you're privileged in a way, in certain ways, in terms of you live in a better neighborhood, quote unquote, doesn't mean you don't face racism in any way. And I've faced my share of racism. You do if you're a Black person or a person of color in any situation. The stories for days in that. And so I learned at an early age. My dad taught me basically, if you get pulled over, just tell the cop what you're doing. Tell them you're reaching for your license. You go extremely slow. Like my dad scared it in me, but now I see why in that way. And so, yeah, I'm a little traumatized because of that. And to this day, I will not call the cops when I should call the cops, about certain things, like, if I see something or whatever, I'm scared, So yeah, I do sympathize. Am I speaking to Janet? Yes, very much so. She's super helpful when it comes to Taylor and because of her experiences. Who's Michael's favorite sibling? I'm not going to tell you that. My favorite album is Tito Time. That's great. That's my dad's album, by the way. So, go check it out. It's an incredible album. Okay, so let's get to some BTS because I'm feeling. Let's see. I don't know if Neverland will be open for tour. That'd be incredible. That would be my dream, would be for people to experience it. I think it's a travesty that not everyone got to experience Neverland. I feel so grateful that I was able to do that. When I put Diana Ross in my documentary, that I would love to put Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder. They're all people. Stephanie Mills, Gladys Knight. They're all people that knew Michael personally and have stories to tell about Michael. And so they're all on my list. And when I say all on my list, that means it's up to them. It's not going to be from the lack of me not trying to get them on film or whatever. All right, let's get this guy. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay. What people say about your daughter being white? I don't know. That's a good question. My daughter's very light right now, but my wife's very light right now. My wife's Brazilian, so but I think that Taylor will get some skin color, and she's a little on the pale side right now, but there's nothing wrong with that. She's healthy, and at the same time, it's like I don't care, and so she's adorable to me in that way. I think the problem is that people make judgments about it in that way. But I do know that she's going to get in high school and stuff like that. She's going to get teased on both sides in that way, in terms of because of who she is, and then also because of I'll just stop because it's a sensitive issue. Okay, let's see. What do I think about K-pop? I've always appreciated K-pop, even way, way, way back in the beginning. Always appreciated it. So it's, I'm learning more and more about it now. but it was something that I always appreciated since the beginning. And so I've gone down a little rabbit hole in that way. Do I have access? Yeah, we do have. I think. Oh, how many kids do you picture yourself having? 3 or 4, hopefully. That's not what. Okay. Let's do this. Let me see if I can figure this out. Okay, so I am going to, and you guys are gonna have to tell me if you can even hear the audio of the music video. No, not that. Let's do that. Let's do this, and let's do this. Okay. All right. I'm gonna play a little of the video. Just tell me if you guys can hear it. Were you guys able to hear that? I know it takes time to catch up. I just need to know because I don't want to go. No, you weren't able to hear that? Oh, geez, that's not good. Okay, so hold on one second. I'm hearing a bunch of no's. Thank God I did not go through this whole video like that. I'm gonna have to take off those headphones and play it volume-wise. I did hear my daughter. I think she's up now. So hold on. Let me just double check. That was the reason I had the headphones in. If she's up, we're going to... Yeah, she's up. Okay, so yeah, let me take these headphones out. You'll probably hear it through the headphones. And let's see. Let me switch this over to... Now tell me if you can hear it. Wait. Hear it now? Oh, no, I have these on. Let's see if now you can hear it. Okay, yes. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. Okay. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be fun. All right, so I'm probably going to stop the video every once in a while just because it was such an experience for me, and it was so fun watching this. And I tweeted about crying when I watching this video. I'll never forget. I was in the kitchen, I don't know if it was the morning of or the next morning, but I was just watching the video over and over, and I just like a bunch of emotions hit me all at once. And what it was is that, my uncle, his music always was something that he wanted to share with the world in terms of helping the world become a better place. And even before I even knew BTS stood for that, it was like, can you guys hear me? I'm getting, okay, I'm just like I was a little scared. Okay. It was just very emotional for me because here are 7 members of a group, and I could see, even on the teaser, I could see the light. I don't know why I could. I don't know, that sounds weird to you, maybe, but I could see it. And I could see the love that they had for their fans, but also, it was what the world needed at the time. And they were doing, even with the teaser, they were doing Michael Jackson moves. And that to me was just such an honor and respect aspect of it. And it was such a thing in terms of, I don't know, it really hit me at my core and soul. And as I said, I needed it at that point. I needed it right then and there because I was just drained. I had gone through, August is a hard month anyway. A lot of people, my mom was, murdered in August. You know, my uncle was born in August in terms of it. So it's like, the end of it is a sentimental time. I was born on the 4th of August. So my emotions go through a lot in August anyway. But just, you know, hearing that. So that was kind of the scenario. And I'm just happy a lot of Moonwalkers and MJ fam have kind of understood that as well. So we're going to go through this video and let me take off the comment, because that sounds, the comment's still there. Okay. So let me take off this too, because this is blocking. Okay, let's check this off. Cool. All right. So I hope you guys have, I mean, most of you guys have seen this. I mean, what is it at now? 245 million views. Premiered August 20th. Okay. So first thing is the big hit. So if I'm talking like this, you guys can hear me. Let me just make sure before we get into the groove of everything, because I was talking through the. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, because I'm going to talk over the video. There's Jimin with the. Here we go. Love the colors, by the way, like just in general. Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring down fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk. First of all, you know, there's that an MJ move there. But what I love about everything, first of all, is just I wouldn't have known that this is their first all English speaking song. You know, just hearing Jungkook sing in that way in the beginning, like, it's just amazing to me. Like, I don't know, I was listening, trust me, I listened for accents and stuff like that, and it's just like, they did such a good job, and the song's so catchy. I hope you guys have heard this song plenty of times, because I'm gonna just keep stopping, but I want you to know. Yeah, because originally, I mean, I see the Beatles, I see David Bowie, I see all these people on there. I saw, you know, there's a Terminator photo, you know, to the left and all that stuff, and Queen. And so you see all these homages, and I was like, okay, you know, as it started off, I'm like, okay, you know, I thought this was going to be a Michael homage, MJ homage, and just from the teaser and whatever. And I was a little worried, but then I was like, okay. And then it's rock and roll, and learning that he's the youngest in that way, and that, you know, I've learned a lot in this situation. But I just, you know, did such a great job starting the song. Starting this video is a hard thing to do, and I did learn that that he had to reshoot it. But that is always, like, it's one of the hardest things to do, because you're the first thing that people kind of focus on. And that's the second thing, which is my daughter screaming. She's probably mad because I keep stopping the song. Okay, let's keep going. Get the drum rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home. Jump up to the top of the brown. Such a great song. Call me on my phone. Nice tea and this ping pong. That transition, like when I saw the, because I'm new to this, guys. You know, when I saw that transition, you know, going to RM. Hey Taylor. When I saw that transition going to RM and learn, because I didn't know these guys at all. Like, I didn't know who was who and whatever, but I just thought, man, that's just really cool. And, you know, you learn, okay, so-and-so is considered the singers, and then so-and-sos are considered the rappers and stuff like that. But for me, they were all, you know, I didn't see any of that. Like, to me, they just were, they all sound great in that way. And RM now, you know, I know that, you know, he's the most fluent in English, and his English is very good, you know, in that way. And his, you know, you learn about his high IQ and all that stuff. And it's just, it is, you go down this rabbit hole of the guys and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. But they have such charisma. Like, seriously, like, you watch this. And then J-Hope, it's like their charisma, but also, you know, by this time in the video, the first time I saw it, I already knew I loved these guys. Like, just watching just three of them perform in that way. And just, you know, there's something about them, their charisma and all that stuff. And I'm sorry if this sounds like a love letter to them, you know, but that's just what it is in terms of that. It's, you know, I see personality in this video. And I think, you know, one of my favorite videos of 3T is Gotta Be You. And it's a lot of people's favorite. And it's us acting silly. We're doing vignettes. We're doing a Beatles thing. We're doing, you know, Cops thing in terms of like a old 70s vibe thing and a Jimi Hendrix throwback. And a lot of people like the video because it actually shows personality. You know, other videos were very, very serious, or they were very like, oh, here's what we are. And so I love videos that show personality, and I can see the guy's personality in this. And then going back and studying them a little, I see the personality even more, you know, in that way. And it's got such cool glasses. And once that chorus hit, that's when I knew, like, I knew that I was hooked. I just knew I was hooked on the song once that chorus hit. And I've heard that chorus thousands of times. We all have in this household. But that's, I mean, a good catchy chorus is everything in terms of in my world. Okay. Actually, let me see if I can do this. Does that make it bigger? Might help a little. Okay. Now we're going Jimin with his dance homage. And there he is. I love the hand thing. MJ hand, you know, the hair, and then the undeniable kick and turn. That's when I knew, okay, that's, you know, because certain dances you can kind of be like, okay, that was somewhat MJ, but it could have been anyone else. And then there's certain ones that you just see and you're like, no, that's MJ, that's Michael Jackson. You know, I'm sorry. And especially knowing that he was someone that always, you know, gave tribute to my uncle, and, you know, was a fan of my uncle. And he's not my bias, but I would love to talk to, like, out of all of them, well, RM I would love to talk to because, oh, my dog just gave me a kiss on the leg. I would love to talk to RM because he speaks fluent English, but at the same time, and he seems really cool. Going through the footage of just them in general, and Jimin, there's this one footage of him, and he was like really upset at himself. He had just done a performance, and he was talking about his voice cracking, and I can't tell you how relieving that was, because it was something that a lot of people know from my tours and stuff and for 3T. My voice cracked on certain songs, and it was the one thing that you, as your voice being your instrument, it's the one thing you can't control. It bothers you so much in that way. You know, you feel like you've let down people, but it's a natural thing. But, you know, when I saw him, you know, in that pain, I understood it in a way. And then also, I think that same video I saw, like, you know, he on stage, he slipped or whatever and fell. And I'm known to do that as well. Like, I'm known to be the clumsy one. And I know that some people say RM, you know, break stuff and all that stuff. But, you know, on stage, I'm the one that will trip and fall. Like, no questions asked, you know, on that one. And so that's, yeah, they're both perfectionists. Yeah, someone said that he reminds a lot of, yeah, perfectionists and hard on themselves. they're the first ones hard on themselves in that way, like, and feel that they've let the audience down, in that way. And I can tell you, I do see that with my, my uncle. Like he always felt like he was letting the audience down when he wasn't giving 100%. And so I do see that. But I've learned since then to be easier on myself. But it took me, decades to learn that, because nobody's perfect. Doesn't matter who you are. And sometimes you don't enjoy the ride when you're too hard on yourself. But yeah, so that dance move in general, was like the undeniable. Okay, that's MJ. Okay, so let's keep going. There's with the off the wall reference in terms of the lyrics, and then if you didn't understand that was Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, then this move right here will tell you that it's off the wall. Right here. I love that. And it's amazing because their voices fit so seamlessly in terms of, like, I really had to study to learn, okay, who is who, and in terms of who's singing what in that way. Break of Dawn, another reference of Michael Jackson. I don't know if that's another Michael Jackson song. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just like, hey, we need a phrase. But I mean, I'm going to take it because that's what, there's not other people that you type in Break of Dawn in Google and Michael Jackson's name comes up. So RM again, and then Shuka. It's interesting because you learn who's who and everything like that. And on the B side, he does a lot of Michael Jackson moves as well. I didn't know who was the rappers and who were the singers at the time, and it's just interesting to figure that out. But he starts this with like a Beat It kind of vibe with the hands. Even though he's snapping his fingers, it had that vibe to me in that way. The kick, obviously the Michael kick. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. At this point in the video, I'm not gonna lie, I was already hooked, but this dance segment where they come out, I don't know what they did with the camera too. Like, I did. Well, the camera is pretty stationary. Like, it's very static in the beginning. We have shots of this, there. They're just cuts, There's a move right there, but there's a push in coming up. There's a push in, and I don't know if they undercranked, like there's a shutter speed, but the swag on all of them, is amazing. Like, really, like that was when I was like, okay, I'm a fan. And so that was the fun part for me in that way, because I MVP anyone that can dance. We don't dance. 3T doesn't dance very well. And so anyone that can dance and do choreography and hit it, my Aunt Janet is incredible at that as well. And, obviously my Uncle Michael, but it's like when you can dance and it's just a group of people dancing and hitting their moves with attitude, it's something that I just love. And so, yeah, just the choreography in general of this song is great. Love it. All those moves. Let's talk about real quick. And I didn't know their names at all at this point, but this guy, I'm calling this guy at first, now I know who everyone is, but this guy, when he came with the sleeves, that was when I was like, okay, this group is not only cool, but they got swag. And I know that's V now, but back then I didn't know who it was. I was just like, this guy coming in with the double sleeve thing, while choreography, and I was okay. It's just an attitude thing. It's and it's something that you kind of, they're the little things that add up in that way. So, and I'm loving, and they're doing, like, you can see Jin, to the right over there. It's like a beat it kind of thing, like to get to his place. He's doing the beat it hand thing, hand movement. They all are, and same thing with RM on the other side. Kick, and then and then Jin with the moonwalk, the undeniable moonwalk. I mean, this Michael reference. And then here's them having fun, which is great for a music video. And this, I love the choreography of this, where am I? Oh, let me turn that off because that wasn't through the whole thing. But I love the choreography. I mean, it's just so cool, and it's like each person. I mean, yes, there's not a lot of certain ones in terms of getting their shine on this song, in general. But they all control the spotlight in a way. Like this is Jin's front and center right now, but and I like I love that hand to the head move, and the hands doing it's really cool. It's a really cool video, but it's also a fun song, but the choreography matches it so well. And then one other thing that I wanted to say is Suga with his I like how he does the hand. Like what I did is I watched each one at one point, and it's just I like he's got his own groove. I love that. Yeah. Cool shot. This took me forever to realize who was who, by the way, because it's like another change. Their hair changed again. And I was like, okay, certain ones I can get, certain ones it's kind of hard for me to figure out, but yeah, and someone just said, I respect the BTS guys. I do too. That was one of the things, like, there's certain things where you can do like secret homages, and you can be kind of like, oh, I think that was an homage to Michael Jackson. But this was like a blatant homage, and there's a difference, and the difference is the same difference of what my uncle used to do. Homages are great. My uncle did a lot of homages. You can look through his thing in terms of whether it's West Side Story with Beat It, or or with Smooth Criminal. I forgot the Fred Astaire outfit, of the Smooth Criminal. It's like he always did homages, and they were blatant. Like you can see where he got the style from, or whether with James Brown, or there was just a bunch of homages that he did in that way, and because he appreciated the people that came before him, and I think that's important to do. And so that's because everyone, most artists today, they're like, oh, well, they want to pretend like they didn't study anyone else, or that they didn't look up to anyone else, because they think it diminishes them. And so I have a lot of respect for them, because, when you put someone else up on a pedestal, that means you're confident enough to know where you stand in that way. Daughters keeps running around. What did my uncle think of, real quick before, because I do it, what did my uncle think about his impersonators? Did he like it? He loved it. He loved impersonators. I always wondered about that, but I can tell you from just seeing him and being around him and seeing impersonators that he appreciated them so much. And you wouldn't think that. You would think, oh, well, he probably got sick of it, or, it was probably weird to him. No, he felt like it was one of the biggest honors that people could give him in that way, that he had influenced their life in that. So he didn't think it was weird at all. He actually really appreciated it. And he actually always loved impersonators doing performances for him or whatever. He would want them to perform and whatever, and they would. I thought it so funny that, you know, they would dance in front of, like, I would be so shy, but, you know, they would dance in front of them. Yeah. You know, so there's a bunch of them that were able to do that. Yeah, BTS, you know, and I'm sorry if this turned into a BTS, you know, love fest or whatever. That's, you know, I kind of wanted to explain, because I'm tweeting a lot and whatever, but I'm part of the Army now, and I really respect these guys. I respect their hard work, their ethic. The song's amazing. The video is amazing. So for me, you know, I'm not going to apologize for any of it at all. I'm a big fan. Where am I at, though? Okay. Oh, new comments. But I want to know as well, who's from the Army that actually discovered Michael through BTS? Because I'm always curious of that. There's very, you know, it was when we did 3T, there was fans that would come up to us and say that they learned about Michael through us. And I always thought that was interesting. I was like, really? You know, so yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of Army people that discovered Michael through BTS, which I think is amazing. And that's one of the things that why I was so emotional and whatever, is because I knew that was going to happen. I knew that they were going to introduce a new audience and a new world to the world of Michael Jackson. And I also, you know, sorry, got something stuck in my throat. Wasn't going to cry. Also know that the BTS, you know, there's certain countries that are very gullible to media and to lies and stuff like that. Unfortunately, US being one of them, and UK and some other ones, Australia. But there's certain countries that can, I don't want to say think for themselves, but they just don't believe the BS. They need proof. They need this or that. And I'm always, you know, so thankful that certain countries are fairer to my uncle. You know, my uncle loved the UK, but the media was never fair to him. His fans were incredible, but the media was never fair to him. You know, and he understood that. They were brutal to him. Same thing in the States. They were brutal to him. Yes. And so, what quality was the most important to Michael? That was a question. I think it was just, you know, there's two things. He would watch how people treated other people, not just around him, but he'd watch secretly. So if he had people that treated other people bad, you know, because they were working with Michael Jackson now, he didn't tolerate that at all. You wouldn't see those people again, you know, so because he never thought that way. He always thought that everyone was the same, just other people. His gift was just music, and that's what he was supposed to do in the world. But that's not what he never tolerated other people talking down to other people. That was probably something, one of his pet peeves. Loyalty was something very important to him, because it was so far between. Like, there just, I mean, that was probably the most sad thing about my uncle, was that, you know, you see what people do for money, and now imagine when it's, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. You know, people will sell their soul for that. And it's just like, so, you know, especially if they're going through hard times in that way. And so that's the frustrating thing about, you know, loyalty was on a short, you know, stick when it came to my uncle, in terms of he didn't have a lot of people that could be that I think he could count on his hands that were extremely, and I'm not talking about extremely loyal in terms of like lying. I'm not talking about that at all. Lying is not being loyal. I'm talking about people that you could trust, that when you need them to be there, they would be there for you in that way. And I can tell you that was not the case with Malcolm. Yes, I have seen Jimin and Jungkook doing the Black or White performance. I thought it was amazing, and it brought a big smile on my face. I saw all the way from the beginning where they came out with the other costumes and stuff like that too. I like how they play with their fans in that way. And you can hear the screaming. I think that's so. I know that kind of that performanship thing aspect of it. Okay. What did my uncle think of Chris Brown? I know that is one that I know from other people that he really respected Chris Brown's performance and skill and dancing and all that stuff. I do know that 100%. He did. Okay, so let's keep going because we're almost done. Do I think Michael would appreciate BTS? Yeah, I've said that before. I think not only that, I think he would have. He would be working. They would have done a duet by now. 100%. He would. They might have been one of their first duets or first, because my uncle could have probably he saw talent early in that way, and so he didn't need. And he also had world charts, and he would always have world charts. From who the biggest groups around the world were, biggest artists around the world. So he would always see that. And so I think he would have been like, who's BTS? And he would have known, he probably would have known about them way early on. And so, and I will be watching their performance tomorrow on MTV. Okay. Someone's keeps asking how, oh wait, hold on. Do I think there'll be artists that the award shows are really kind of, don't take them with a grain of salt because they kind of do them for ratings. So if they think that they'll bring in the ratings, they'll award someone, or if they think controversial bring in the ratings, they'll do it that way. So take that with a grain of salt. If I listen to Whatever Happened, yes, Carlos Santana, great song. Okay, so let's keep going. Any funny pranks I played on my own? Gosh, we would disguise our voice all the time with him and scare him. Not scare him, but like make him think he's in trouble or something like that. In terms of, yeah, because we could get away with it and whatever. And so it was just fun. Have you heard about Lisa Sutton? Yes, I have, unfortunately, and I sent my condolences. And it's a tragedy in that way, and it hurt me. I was not close to Ben at all, but I know my cousin Austin was, and I reached out to him first to see how they were doing and whatever. So yeah. Hope I'm answering. How's BG? BG's good. BG's good. BG's taking the time right now to study and watch a lot of films and stuff like that. Catch up on his film making, and he keeps checking in on me, and I keep checking in on him. I'm supposed to be finishing the Clone Wars because he loves that series, and I do too. But that's a Star Wars. And so he always asks me, it's like, where are you on the Clone Wars and all that stuff? And so that's where we're at with that. So he keeps checking in on me. Okay. What's your favorite song? I'm gonna have to answer that later, another one, because I haven't heard every song and I haven't seen every music video. And obviously this one is in English. Dynamite is, and it's also the one that kind of introduced me to them. So I have a kind of a leaning towards that, and I want to get kind of a foundation before I go back and watch all the others, because I want to now I can see who's who and all that stuff. So I appreciate it more, and I can see, oh, so and so is rapping here and all that stuff and everything like that. But yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see. Can you tell us some funny stuff about Michael? Wait, hold on. What is your favorite Michael music? I don't have a favorite. I mean, I've tried to narrow it down to favorite songs, and it literally is impossible. I explain I don't have a bias in BTS, but I do. I mean, no, I don't have a bias, but Jimin is someone that I can see his love for my uncle. That's a big factor. As I said before, that footage that I saw of him, being hard on himself when he cracked, was another thing that kind of emotionally connected me with him. And then third was when I, saw him slip on stage. I see a lot of me in him in that way. And then he's very, what's the word? I don't want to say huggy, but he's very, they're all easy to get along with pretty much, but, he has a soft shell to him in that way. I have a soft shell to me in that way as well. Others have a more like Suga has more of a harder exterior in that way. Okay, let's keep going. Let me hide this comment. Let's keep going because we're not. For some reason, I love that part. I don't know what it is about it. Like, there's some kind of fun to it. I don't know if it was spontaneous or if it was just planned, but at the same time, it works either way. With Jungkook and Jimin, it works, and you can see the love that they have in terms of that, and the fun aspect. Something about fun always gets to me in that way. Where am I at? Okay, so yeah, I like that part too, and then we get into the next part, which is where it takes the. Oh, they actually said it wasn't planned. Hold on. See, that's why it works in that way. So it wasn't planned. See, and I love that. That's what I think is always cool is that when it's spontaneous, there's certain things you can't capture. I was like, okay, well, they're good. Maybe they're good actors or whatever. And I think some of them are, but it's like, yeah, that aspect of it you can see, and that's why I said I love that part, because I can see personality. And that, yeah, I see that. I know there's a troller in here. Let's just block him. Good. I'm 10 and Michael's my favorite. Oh, that's great. Okay. So where are we at? Okay, so here, let's go. Yeah, there's so many references. I know I skipped over some too, but it's just like, honestly, I got caught up in the song again. Oh, the love the guitar lick. It's very I Want You Back-ish. I know the song was already written and sent to them, but it has that I Want You Back kind of guitar lick. It's there's a certain lick, like the way the guitar plays, that it just, and especially at the very, very end, that da 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 da, is exactly I Want You Back. Like, so I have to be careful not to read into things, but at the same time, there's certain things that I'm like, okay, I know that's that. It has to be. Okay. Someone said, hi, Taj. Hello. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep moving. I did watch the B-side. I did love the silliness of it. I think it was amazing that they put out two versions of it. That's like so clever of them to do that in that way. I'm happy they put out this version first, though, because it is more traditional music video. And I got to see dancing. I got to see them in coordination dancing. Love their outfits, even though like not many people. It's like my uncle. Like not many people could get away rocking the outfits that Michael Jackson rocked. Only he could. And I feel like that's the same thing with this, like the corduroys and the the 70s throwback outfits and the just the styling that they have. They carry it and they wear it well, and a lot of people couldn't pull that off. Is Annie okay? That's a good one. I like that. Someone said, "Is Annie?" Oh no, keep hitting the wrong thing. Our brothers, yeah, and they are good around all the time. It's the reason why I love. Yes, exactly. And the more I see, the more I understand that. Was Michael a flirter? He had, if he wanted to, he can put on the charm. And, the problem with him was that he was just so shy. But, if you knew him well enough, you knew when he was flirting with someone. And we would tease him about it afterwards. When we'd get to the wherever we were going, we were alone, we'd tease him about it. Because we were like, you think you're being smooth. We know you. And all that stuff. So that was always fun, because you just know, we knew his moves. It was fun. It was fun watching him do that, because he's naturally just so shy. All right, let's go. Let's keep moving. Love this. That whole color thing is incredible, and the choreography and the camera movement, and then Jen in front. It's so cool. And then the quick cuts of everyone. It just. Kick again. I don't know how you cannot hear the song and not be happy after hearing the song, which is, I think, one of the best things around. Okay. Sorry. I should have taken off the comments. I hate when I have the comments still on after. What was Michael's weight? It fluctuated. Sometimes it would be like more on the healthy side. Sometimes it would be more of like on the lighter side, and we'd be concerned about his weight. When did I realize I was a Jackson? I realized I was a Jackson when we went to probably like the hall. Well, we'd always go to like to performances, like concerts. And see, like in 1979, 80, they had this, it was, I forgot what the concert's called, but it was during the Triumph album. And, we'd go to the Forum, which is like LA, their big venue. And they sold that out, and broke a record. And it was just, we'd be on stage, back, like literally they'd have a seat on stage, and we saw this whole audience going crazy for my dad and my uncles. And it was just like, okay, that's when I realized it, first of all. And then when I realized how the extent of it was when my uncle got the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And we were taken out of school, thankfully, to go see that and witness that, and it was one of the most crazy experiences, but at the same time, I think it just was incredible in that way to see that, to witness that. And so, and then there'd be certain school years where my uncle or my dad or uncles, uncle or dads, my dad or uncles would be on tour, and one of the teachers would get the courage to ask for tickets. And I thought that was always, because that was probably the most nerve-wracking thing for them to do, is ask a student, one of their classmates, for tickets. And we would give it to them, of course, but it was just like, yeah, it was probably, I could see in their face. There's not one teacher that was comfortable asking, but it's almost like there's no reason why they shouldn't have asked, because I loved all my teachers. I really did. Even the ones that were hard on me. There weren't that many that were hard on me, but yeah. Where was I when Michael died? I was at my brother Terrell's house. We were just starting to record our new album. It was our first day of recording our new album when we found out. Please wish Reese happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. I think I hope or Reese. Thriller's our favorite. I hope it's either Reese or Reese. So happy birthday. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. Let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys, if you're BTS Army, are you allowed to like other groups? Are you allowed to like groups like Blackpink? Because someone keeps saying, please watch Blackpink. So are you allowed to do that? I mean, obviously you're allowed to watch it, but and I will watch it in that way. I just was curious in that way, like. And I'm not saying, because I don't think it's, yeah, of course. So people are laughing at me. No, I know there's people that like are diehards that will be like, no, you can't, I didn't, speaking as someone that was in a music group, we didn't care if you like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Oh my gosh, it's going to be NSYNC. I just called them Instinct. NSYNC, Spice Girls, who else? Westlife. I'm trying to remember who was there, but yeah. So we didn't. It didn't matter for us in that way. We were just happy to have our fans in that way, and we didn't care if you were multiple fans. And a lot of our fans were multiple fans of other groups, and that was fine. So, I think when we came into the scene in London, we had a lot of Take That fans because they had just disbanded, I think, or this was our last single or something with Back for Good at that point. And so, yeah, I think that would have been hypocritical to be like, oh, you have to be a 3T fan only. Okay, so here we go. Let's finish this video. Look at those poses. I mean, that's what I love about it. It's like there's no undeniable. Every one of those is Michael pose. It's not even a question. And that one from the teaser, that was one of the things that I was just loved about it. It's like it's an undeniable nod, and it brought a smile to my face. I think that the mixture of the song, the key, not even the key, but the brightness of the song is what made me so emotional. And didn't I want you back? And then be finishing off the thing with his little. So, yeah, that is pretty much the leg kicks. I mean, that's just. There's something about that just makes me smile. Maybe it's Chris Tucker's, how he does it all the time, and everything like that. There's something about leg kicks that just make me, when I see them on TikTok or anything, they just make me smile, because I know they're it's like a nod to my uncle. It just like a moonwalk is, but there's, leg kick is something that is just like, I don't know why people, when they see it, they just think automatically Michael Jackson, but it is. It is. I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then we'll get going, because this was only supposed to be an hour. Do I do the leg kick? Actually, I don't do a very good leg kick. I'm going to have to work on that. It might be because I've torn both my Achilles tendons on both legs. I know I was better at leg kicks. Like I looked in the mirror and I was like, it was very disappointing leg kick. I'm like, come on. You can't be that bad at a leg kick. Um, but yeah, how's Papa T? Papa T is great. Papa T is, in Vegas right now. But Papa T is doing great. Thank you for asking. You start playing electric guitar because of the Jackson 5. Oh, that's awesome. When was the last time I was at Neverland? Like actually at Neverland? I was there after my uncle left. My uncle left after the trial. I was still there because I lived there with him during the trial, during the 2005 trial. And then he left for Bahrain, and I stayed for about, I think, another month and a half, and then I left. So I was there, and but it wasn't the same without him there, and so I left. And it was true. Like the magic, a lot of the magic was gone at that point, just because of the trial. Oh, what was it? What was it like living with my? It was super, super, like, because I was during the trial, so it was very painful in a way. Seeing someone you love go through that in general is painful, especially when you know it's a lie. Second of all, when they're going through pain. So my whole thing, and I've said this before, was just I wanted him to smile. I wanted to make jokes, and we watched a lot of Three Stooges, and if I could get him through another day, then I did my job. And so every day was basically reminding him, about having fun times, getting his mind off of that, what he was doing during the day of going to court and all that stuff. And, he felt your guys' love, the fans' love about it in that. And so I appreciate that, you guys kept him going, and obviously his kids as well. But it's like, yeah, that was just, it was a nightmare. And it was something that, I think it's just, it was a hard thing for him in that way. Did your dad or uncles ever call Michael daddy? I don't think so. I don't know what that is. Daddy. No. Oh, like, yeah, daddy. Maybe that's what you guys think. But that's like a slang thing. That, yeah, daddy. That's like, it's like, yeah, man. That might be because my uncle used to say that. And when my uncles and my Uncle Michael, I would hear them say that. But Bill Bray used to say that too to people. But I don't know where that came from. So I hope that answers it. Yeah, Janet said, yeah, daddy. I don't think it's daddy like you think it is daddy. It's not daddy like father daddy. It's just like a cool way of saying, I don't know what it is. But I know it's not that. Because I've heard people say they said that to me before he was a father, and they've said that to people that weren't fathers, to females and stuff. So I don't think it's that at all. What advice? Kind of advice? I think just one of the main advices, and sorry if I sound like a broken record to some people, just being positive, trying to do something good for the world. Visit hospitals. When we had our big hit with anything, my uncle called and wanted to make sure we were going to hospitals and visiting sick children and donating to charities. And so that was his main concern for us, was that we used our platform for good. And so I think that was one of the main advices that he gave us in that way, was that, and shoot for the stars. Like, don't settle in that way. He truly was a big cheerleader of ours and believed we could do anything. No pun intended, but that was, I would say that was the thing. Would Michael be active on social? Heck no. He'd be one of those people that would have been dragged to it, or you would have known that it was a publicist or someone like that. Would have never. It's hard though, because as he got older, he got more. There were times when he became like less private, and wanted the world to see him and stuff like that. I just don't know. But it just seemed like every time that happened, the media would use that, turn it, twist it, and backstab him. And here we are. So I think that, yeah. How's my project coming on? I answered that earlier, I think. But it's coming along. There's a little delay because of the pandemic, but I'm doing everything I can do up until that point. The restrictions for producing and production in America and in certain states is getting more lenient in that way. But I know you have to buy insurance, and that makes so every production that you see that is now going back into production, Hollywood, is actually paying insurance that is almost way more expensive than what it would have cost. So that a lot of them are pushing their productions back instead of actually continuing and going through with it, because now you have to insure everyone and make sure that people don't get sick. And so, and us being Jacksons, me being a Jackson, I think that's one of the things I'm concerned about is everyone always likes to be Sue happy when it comes to being a Jackson. So I'm not procrastinating. I think people that know me know that, and people that have worked with me and people that I've called and picked their brain, all that stuff, knows I'm not procrastinating. But at the same time, I'm not rushing it either. This is something that has to be for the long haul. Like, I think as BTS taught me that, Michael Jackson will live on. Now, how will he live on in that way? He'll be appreciated by his music and his geniusness, but I want people to appreciate him for his humanitarianism, for him being a human as well. And so in order for that to happen, you have to go through and literally debunk all these lies and show how not only outrageous they are, but how they were created and who was behind them. And that will take time. Yes, I will watch the VMAs tomorrow for that. And they better say Michael Jackson Vanguard Award. If they're giving one out, they better say that. Michael's favorite foods. I think I've talked about this. He loved, he loved Popeyes. He loved Kentucky Fried Chicken. He loved that kind of food for fast food. I never saw him eating McDonald's or anything like that, but that doesn't mean he didn't. That's just, I never saw that. Then there was like, they call it healthy pizza and stuff like that the cooks would make and all that stuff. And he'd have that. I've seen him eat fries before. So, but those were the ones that the cooks cooked for him and all that stuff. So I don't know. Why don't we do Graceland or why don't we have, I know it's also, it has to do with Santa Barbara if they allow that to happen, in a way, because I know they could be holding that up too and not allowing us to have a museum at Neverland. Okay, so I think we're almost at the end. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys, hanging in here with me. I wanted to do this. This is last minute kind of thing. And I make the GoFundMe link your pinned tweet again soon. I took the GoFundMe link off my pinned tweet only because people were going through hardship and it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right, me being like, hey, donate to this or whatever. Obviously, the finances help speed up things 100%. Nothing's free in this world. And that, especially if you travel or go places. But at the same time, I do understand everyone right now is almost living paycheck to paycheck, if that, because some people don't even have jobs. So it's a delicate thing for me in that way of just being aware. And but at the same time, I do realize that certain people don't even know how to get to the GoFundMe anymore either, that can donate. And so I might later on. I think we have to get out of this kind of funk before I feel comfortable doing that. I don't even, when I do interviews, I don't really even talk about it as much, because, which is a detriment to the project, but at the same time, it is something I'm still struggling with in that way. How do I feel about Neverland being turned into a hospital? That's interesting. I've never heard of that. I think that would be that'd be interesting. I think anything that is positive, my uncle would appreciate. I think that something for sick kids would be great, but yeah, I think, yeah. So was Michael a picky eater? Yeah, he was pretty picky. All right. Well, thank you guys. I'm just making sure that, just making sure, because I don't want to skip on too many, but yeah. I don't know if it's trending or whatever, but if it is trending, is there a trend happening right now with Happy Birthday Michael Jackson or anything like that? There is, please help it spread, because I know there's a lot of people in Hollywood right now that are scared to tweet Michael Jackson stuff still to this day, unfortunately. And it's sad. And then there's a lot of people that are still dealing with Chadwick Boseman's passing, untimely passing, or sudden passing, because we didn't know about his cancer. And so I'm respecting that as well, in that, but yeah. And Questlove, yes, Questlove. And yeah, please, is doing an MJ celebration right now. You should go to it and just thank him, because he's always been a supporter of our family and in general, and thank him for doing that, because, people like him and Spike Lee and Snoop Dogg and all those people, they're catching heck from doing this, because there are people that generally hate that he's being celebrated. And, the same thing with BTS, I appreciate them, because, there's probably idiots that are, commenting on them, doing a tribute to Michael. And I think that's, it's unfortunate, but yes. So, I'm appreciative of anyone that, not only honors my uncle, but encompasses my uncle. Because it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I love his music. But then if you don't practice what he preached in terms of being a good person and helping the world, then, you just like you like the sound of his music. You don't actually like him in that way. And so I do think that, I do think that that's important. Let me see. Okay, in Italy, it's been trending for hours. That's great. Happy to hear that. I know there's certain places that has been trending a lot. And, I don't know. My uncle didn't have a favorite quote, unfortunately. I'd have to think in terms of, if I do think of one, I might put it up. But yeah. Hold on, let's see. Taylor, do you want to make an appearance? Taylor, you've made all this noise. Do you want to make a quick appearance and say bye to everyone? Taylor. Now she's playing hard again. She's over there making so much noise. Have I watched? Hold on. Someone asked. Hold on. Have I watched the humanitarian documentary? And yes, I have. It was amazing. Thank you. Say hi. Want to say hi to everyone? Say hi. That's it? That's all you're going to give everyone? Okay. Oh, now you made all that noise. You made all that noise. Daddy kiss. Give daddy a kiss. Yes. Thank you. Okay, now you can go. It's a young BTS Army fan right there. But but that's one of the reasons too why I do what I do. It's just because I seen her, and I don't ever want her to deal with what our family has had to deal with. It's just it's crazy, and so it stops here with her generation. You know, it is. It's enough is enough. Enough of the lies, and I think we're now seeing that people, you know, you can't trust what comes out of the media. And I don't want to be like anti-media, because there are some good media people, but it's few and far between. Let's be honest here. Let's see. Tara has the tape of You Are the Ones. Yeah, I'm sure he does. He has the tape of a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have to steal something from him. But yeah, like he's got a lot of stuff that would let's see, where did I get the hat? Italy. Someone gave me the hat in Italy, and I don't know who it was. And I've asked, and I don't know. So we're gonna have to find that out. Okay. Yes, thank you. You're on the side of the truth. And that's the thing. And as you see, years pass, and it's like more and more things start to unravel for them in terms of the life. They can give themselves all the awards they want. You know, to me, you know, that doesn't give it validity. It just makes it more of a scam in that way. And so, you know, stay on course. It is dark times right now, hard times. Is Frank Casio going to be in the doc? If he wants to be in there. I know when Leaving Neverland first came out, he contacted me through email wanting me to be part of his documentary. He was doing one, you know, pro Michael. And I discussed that I was doing one. And so, you know, I haven't really chatted with him since then, but yeah, I mean, anyone that knows my uncle and, you know, is trying to do something positive in a certain way for him in terms of, and can shed light to certain things. Yes, of course. Because I think everyone adds a certain part of their experience in that way. You know, it just, do I feel old at 47? No, I have to keep reminding myself I'm 47. I feel like I'm still in my 20s, thanks to my uncle. That's how he taught. Thank you for asking. No, thank BTS for introducing me to them and honoring my uncle, and for the Army. You guys have been incredible, and I'm happy to be a part of you now, because you guys, you know, when I first tweeted or first whatever, it was like you guys showed so much love to the MJ fam, and it was almost like, and we appreciate it. So, you know, and yeah, so that's that. And now I'm just 47. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm 47. I just assumed, someone said 47, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm 47. Yeah, I'm 47 now. All right, so that's that, guys. Trust me, my body sometimes feels like I'm 47, but we're gonna get through all of this. You know, keep streaming Dynamite. I listen to it all the time on, you know, this my Army now talking in terms of my Army thing. Keep streaming Dynamite. We got some chart positions that we need to get to, and keep streaming Michael. You know, Billie Jean needs to get to 1 billion, so let's get that going as well. And you know, I think the two go hand in hand, because the more people that discover BTS, they're going to discover Michael, and vice versa. So that's all I'm going to say. And thank you guys for listening to me ramble. But at the same time, this is, you know, it is what it is. I've always kept it real with everyone. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope I answered as much questions as I could. You know, I'm going to go eat now. Asta.